Hey guys, so here again for another Let's Talk manga, and this time I thought I'll talk about a manga that is actually well known, and I think it's also well known on BookTube, but I think it deserves to be even even better known because it is amazing, and it is called Koe no Katashi, or A Silent Voice. It is an 8 volume manga that has also been turned into a movie, and it's just absolutely amazing. It is the story of a boy that in I think it was middle grade school, a boy named, now I'm probably gonna butcher those names. I think Soya Ishida. Um, in middle school, he literally bullied a girl named Shoko Nishimiya, um, because she is deaf, so couldn't hear. He and his friends did bully this girl, and it is the story of what happened when they were in middle school, and how he turned from the bully to the one being bullied, in his redemption story during high school when he meets the same girl again. Now, this sounds pretty simplistic, but this manga is everything but simplistic because this looks at bullying in a very, how to say, amazing way. Doesn't sound right, but it looks at it in a very humane perspective, gives a very humane perspective of bullying. It does explain why kids do this, why are they bullied, how does that happen. It feels like a really realistic and humane portrait of what happens, why the things happen as they do. Uh, what kind of person would like this? I think almost everyone would like this, but especially if you read, um, if you like contemporary stories, young adult stories, coming of age stories, redemption stories, bullying stories. You know what I mean? I think there's something here for everyone. Plus, this feels very, I would say, personal for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons, because you have, those are the two main characters, but you have the friends and allies or enemies of each of the protagonists, and they aren't just there to take up space. They literally there to serve a purpose. They have their own character development, very well explained, very well developed. It is just a pretty amazing story. It is also pretty simple, as I told you. Boy meets girl in middle school, boy bullies girl, boy, because of certain things, I'm not gonna spoil what, passes from being the bully to the one being bullied, and time passes, they fall apart, of course, because, of course, high school comes, boy still being bullied, boy still depressed, meets the girl again, redemption arc. Of course, sounds simple, like I said, but it has so much in it, and I just loved it. Plus, the art is pretty good, even both manga and the movie. Awesome. This is, of course, let's talk about manga series, but I do need to, since I already saw the movie, I need to address it. I do recommend. I do think you should read the movie. Should watch the movie. But I do recommend you to read the manga first because there's a lot missing from the movie. Now, it had to be. There has to be a lot missing from the movie because of time reasons. Even though it's a fairly small manga, it makes sense that they wouldn't put everything in it. What they're missing on the movie is not, how to say, doesn't affect the two main characters, but affects the secondary characters. They do not have as much development in the movie, so I do know at least one character. It was very portrayed just as the bad person, and that's it. And it has a lot more development into the manga, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, at least two other characters are also a little bit cut down on the movie. Now, this is a story about bullying, so I do have to. I mean, I don't think I have to say that there are trigger warnings for bullying, for suicide, or attempting suicide, depression. I do not know exactly. I'm not gonna say violence because I don't think there is not so much physical violence, but mental violence, and I'm shining again. Of course I am. As it's better, I hope so. Let's try to make this brief. I'm not gonna give spoilers, any type of spoilers on this. Let's talk manga because it doesn't make sense. It is a story that it's appreciated without spoilers. I do have to say though that there is a couple of things that I think that it helps that you know about Japan society and Japan culture for this thing. I do not know how exactly. Again, I'm not sure. You can read and watch this and appreciate it without knowing these little tidbits. And of course, I am not that prepared. I should have reread the manga and see all the little things about Japanese culture that I know that they mentioned, but to see if they explain it. There is things like doing origami cranes. If you do, like, I think it's either 100 or 1000 of them to give to a sick person. There is a minor god in the Japanese culture that helps sick people, and they usually have the little shrines close to hospitals, and you are supposed to do those. I do not remember if it's 100 or 1000 because it is. I know that it is a stupid amount of paper cranes, and give to a person. They are supposed to get better. It's like an offering to the gods. You do that, the person gets better. If I'm not mistaken, they talk about the fact that carps are baby dragons or phase 1 of dragons, and they can make wishes come true. I know I'm saying this very like without certainty exactly on the words, because like I said, I did not prepare as I should, because this is like, oh, I remember this and I should talk, and yeah, my fault. But there is also one saying in Japan that translated roughly goes like, the nail that sticks out gets hammered. That is exactly what it seems like. If you are a person that out of the ordinary of the group, you get hammered into the ordinary of the group, and that mentality kind of helps explain a lot of what happens. I think you guys can understand why a deaf kid in a school with all mentally, how do you say, not deaf. I was gonna say normal, but you guys know that deaf people are normal. Able-bodied, totally able-bodied, or totally. I know this word in Portuguese, and I'm not being able to find the correct word in English. I'm sorry, but deaf girl in a class of kids that can hear and have no other physical problems. She's the nail that is sticking out. And then that situation reverts. But yeah, there is like those simple things that they address. Again, I'm not exactly a know-all when it comes to Japan, and sometimes I'm a little bit afraid of saying those things, and people being like taking them as face value. This is things that I found out either on other mangas or some Japanese books, stories that happen in Japan. So take it with a pinch of salt. I do not know if this is exactly like this in Japan, but I've seen it in several places. So, and I know that they are using that kind of symbolism on this particular story. So yeah, there's that. Words were difficult, but I think we got into an agreement here. We understood each other, right? So that's about it for today. Big recommend. Really love it, and I think that lots of you will love it, and lots of you should give it a try. And if you do, if you know, or if you're gonna try and then watch or read manga, do let me know what you think of it. And yeah, that's all about it for it. Bye guys.